Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How Symantec Product Handle the New Crypto Challenges. My name is Maï Zidane from MBCom Marketing Team, and I'm delighted to be your host for today. Before we begin, please make sure your microphone's muted during the session, and you can use the chat box at any time to share your questions. We will dedicate some time for the Q&A at the end. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Wasfi Bounni, Director of Cybersecurity at Renaissance IT. Over to you, Wasfi.
Thank you, May. I appreciate your introduction. Let me start by sharing my screen.
Thank you.
Hopefully everyone can see my screen.
We do indeed. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, May, again for the introduction. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Today, we will talk about Encrypted Client Hello and Post-Quantum Cryptography. We're going to talk about their applications, their practical applications, and their practical implications, besides the way Broadcom supports these technologies. My name is Wasfi Bounni, and I am a senior cybersecurity architect, the managing director of Renaissance IT, and I am a cryptography content creator as well. I have done many projects for banks and government departments in Australia and worldwide. For example, I architected the solution for secure web gateway, data loss prevention, and application firewall, web application firewall for the Australian Taxation Office back in 2022. Welcome to the session, and let's start. So the goals of today's session is to understand the encrypted client hello dilemma and the trade-off between visibility and privacy. Also, we want to learn how to use Wireshark to analyze TLS traffic with encrypted client hello, ECH, and I'll do some demonstrations about that. Also, understanding Broadcom workaround for encrypted client hello dilemma, and finally learn about post-quantum cryptography support by Broadcom's solutions. The agenda for today, first we have the encrypted client hello issue. We're going to discuss it and we're going to explore it. We're going to look at the dilemma of privacy versus visibility. Then we'll talk about traffic with encrypted client hello as the Edge SWG Broadcom solution tunnels the TLS traffic only. And then we'll look at the ECH traffic when the Edge SWG decrypts TLS traffic, and we'll see how Broadcom works its way around the ECH issue, which I'll explain soon. Last but not least, we'll talk about post-quantum cryptography, okay, its imperativeness and its supportability by Broadcom's solutions. And we're going to do demos as well. So the encrypted client hello issue. Basically, without encrypted client hello, TLS 1.3 without client hello, we have a client and we have an Edge SWG secure web gateway device. We have the client hello. In the client hello, the server name indicator extension SNI is revealed in clear text. Okay, and this allows transparent devices like a transparent proxy or a firewall, okay, to actually work out what category this this website is. So in this case, this is the website for the Australian Department of Health. Okay, and we can straight away, it works out this site to a category of health. Based on that, we can go ahead and apply SSL decryption rules. So we can be granular about the way we do SSL decryption, or TLS decryption to be specific. If, as you know, if the category is health, in most of the countries around the world, you're not allowed to decrypt TLS traffic carrying health data or health information, okay? And for that, we add a rule, okay, on the Edge SWG saying if the category is health, do not decrypt, do not do TLS decryption. Okay, otherwise, okay, rule number 2, if it's any other category, then do the decryption. Okay, this way, if I have PHI data within encrypted, okay, i.e. health data for customers and patients, it goes through unencrypted, okay, and we achieve compliance this way with regulations and country laws. In any other case, we intercept, we decrypt, and we encrypt and send it to the server. Okay, so that's how it is without encrypted client hello. The issue here, as you can see, is that the SNI in here is sent in open, and that opens the door for snooping attacks by eavesdroppers who can actually figure out, okay, the surfing or the browsing pattern of certain clients and pinpoint or tweak their attacks, okay, their phishing attacks, okay, to target sites mostly visited by this client. So anyway, this is information that no snooper in between the client and the Edge SWG or okay needs to know about. That's the main point. In addition to the SNI, okay, so that's basically what we want to hide, okay, and this is what the encrypted client hello does. The encrypted client hello is an addition to the TLS 1.3 protocol, in which this extension is encrypted. Okay, this extension is encrypted, sent encrypted. The encrypted client hello, okay, besides encrypting the SNI, it also encrypts another extension, which is application layer protocol negotiation, ALPN, which actually, in which the client tells the server what kind of protocol is trying to encrypt over TLS. So it might say H2 for HTTP version 2 or H3 for HTTP version 3, or it might say SMTP. Okay, if we are doing SMTP-S. Okay, again, with application layer protocol negotiation, that's another extension also encrypted by the encrypted client hello. So the encrypted client hello encrypts these two extensions amongst other things as well. Okay, so that's great. So we hide in them, but when we hide them, so for example, when the encrypted client hello hides the server name indication extension, here comes the dilemma. What is the content filtering category? What is the content filtering category? Why is it a dilemma? Because if I want to decrypt selectively, well, without knowing, without having visibility of the SNI, I can't tell whether this is health, this is a category health site, or it's not, or not. So encrypted client hello provides privacy, but it takes away visibility. and this is the dilemma. Traffic with ECH, Encrypted Client Hello. This is now, we're going to see how Broadcom's Edge SWG deals with it. So with Encrypted Client Hello, if we're only doing TLS tunneling, that means we're not doing any decryption. Okay, here is the kind of the landscape. The client sends the TLS client hello. Okay, this is with Encrypted Client Hello. With Encrypted Client Hello, okay, we have two extensions. There's the outer SNI. Okay, the outer SNI is usually sent to a content delivery network. Okay, content delivery network, and the inner SNI, okay, is what's really encrypted. So this client here really is sending this TLS client hello to the destination IP, okay, of this web server. Okay, it's sending it to the from a layer 3. It's being sent to this web server. Okay. The Edge SWG will go and do its lookup, okay, for the SNI. Okay, again, the destination IP here is the IP address of the web server. Edge SWG, it'll do its lookup, DNS lookup, based on the outer SNI, and gets the IP address associated, or the A record associated with Cloudflare ECH.com, okay, which is the content delivery network. Cloudflare will get the TLS client hello, okay, with the encrypted client hello, and what it'll do, it will go and decrypt the encrypted client hello, and that will reveal the SNI value, which is www.agilecrm.com, and based on that, Cloudflare will relay that to the server it needs to go to. So in this case, as I mentioned, there's only tunneling, there's no decryption, and we have the traffic goes through unencrypted end to end. Okay, Cloudflare here is actually the destination content delivery network, okay, for this connection. Again, the destination IP here for this client hello is the IP address of the web server associated with this fully qualified domain name. Next, we look at encrypted client hello and TLS decryption. Okay, so in this case, okay, I have a client, okay, and I have Edge SWG, I have Cloudflare and web server, again, the same landscape. So the TLS client hello here is sent, and this is basically my policy. This is how it's supposed to be set up to avoid this lack of visibility problem. We add 3 rules. In the first rule, we say if the category is content delivery networks, okay, CDNs, content delivery network, like Cloudflare, we want to decrypt. If the category is health, we don't want to decrypt. And if the category is anything else, we want to decrypt. So in this case, okay, the final destination is www.agilecrm.com, and it's to be decrypted. So how is that going to work? We do the DNS lookup for cloudflare.ech.com, and this is the IP address for it. Then what happens, as the Edge SWG sends out this client hello, it removes the encrypted client hello extension. So it removes the encrypted client hello extension, and it sends a non-ECH TLS client hello to the content delivery network. The content delivery network here we'll look at that and say, okay, doesn't seem to be, this doesn't seem to have an encrypted client hello. So this is a traditional TLS 1.3 client hello. So I will just send my server certificate. Okay, my server certificate, the CN name for this certificate is cloudflare.ech.com, and the Edge SWG will relay it to the client, relay this server certificate to the client. The client will look at this server certificate and it'll say, well, I was expecting this. Why am I getting cloudflare.ech.com? Okay, there must be a problem. So it goes and it does a TCP reset for this TCP session, and that is, accompanied with usually after a bit before that or a bit after that, we get a TCP fin to terminate the TCP session between the Edge SWG and Cloudflare Content Delivery Network. Okay, and once that's terminated, the client will resend a TLS client hello with ECH, but that ECH only is only encrypting the ALPN extension. Okay, it's not really encrypting the SNI anymore. Okay, so the SNI, the encrypted SNI, is not there. Okay, and of course that's a reaction to having the wrong certificate CN name. We do the DNS lookup, this time for the outer SNI. And then that's the IP. And then, we send the TLS client hello to that destination IP. The destination IP here is this one. Okay, because we're doing the DNS lookup against the SNI value. And that TLS client hello is sent to the web server. Note that here, this is one TLS session. Okay, this whole thing is a one TLS session in here. Okay, there's two TCP connections, but one TLS session between Edge SWG and the web server. Okay, and the web server sends its certificate and plus the server hello and the certificate and server hello, and the certificate here, the CN name is www.agilecrm.com, which is perfect. So we can now, what happened, the Edge SWG was able to see the SNI revealing the real SNI. So what can we do? We can apply the policy above with the 3 rules above, and we can decrypt and re-encrypt. Okay, so that's how Broadcom works its way around it. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 demonstration of packet captures. The first one for when the Edge SWG is only doing tunneling, and the second one is where the Edge SWG is doing decryption. So give me 1 second to prepare that. Okay, sharing my screen.
Yeah, we cannot see your screen anymore.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we do. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, sharing my screen, and in here, okay, I'm trying to mirror what's in the image on top with the screen here. So let me just make that smaller so there's enough space. Okay, so the original TLS client hello coming, this is the IP address of the client. This is the IP address of the server www.agilecrm.com. Okay, and when I look at TLS in here, at the handshake, sorry, we will see that there is an encrypted client hello. This is the encrypted client hello extension. Okay. So the encrypted part is basically includes, amongst other things, www.agilecrm.com. Now, if we look at this part in here, okay, if we look at this part in here, this is where 241 in here, 192.168.1.241 is the IP address of the Edge SWG. And as we send this to this here is the IP address of Cloudflare. Okay, this one here. Okay, so if we look at that, actually, this one is better. If we look at that, we will see in here that the proxy is sending. So this is the proxy sending the encrypted client hello to Cloudflare. This is in case we're doing tunneling. Okay. This is in case we're doing tunneling, Cloudflare will decrypt and we'll send it to the web server. So that's the first demonstration. I will do the second demonstration now for the second scenario, which is where we decrypt. So in this case, as you can see, okay, this is the client hello, okay, that comes initially from the client. Okay, this is the client hello that comes initially from the client, and going, so the outer SNI is this one, and there is an encrypted client hello in here. And this here is the second stage where we send the second client hello and without the SNI. So we'll still send it with encrypted client hello, but without the SNI. This one here from 151, which is the client, to the destination IP, which in this case, this is actually not the destination IP. I apologize. It should be this IP to the destination IP in here. This here is, and so that's actually this connection in here. The destination IP is the IP address of the web server, and there is an encrypted client hello in here that doesn't include the SNI. So when that arrives at the Edge SWG, the Edge SWG with this IP address 192.168.1.241, which is this one, sends it to this IP address, okay, which is the destination IP, because it's looking for the destination IP, which is the server IP, okay. And again, this one here doesn't have the encrypted client hello. This one doesn't have the encrypted client hello, and it's a normal one. And as you can see in here, there is no Encrypted Client Hello extension. Okay, so it goes through, CDN says, oh, this is a traditional handshake, no encrypted client hello, sends it through, and we get this certificate, and the certificate CN name here is agilecrm.com. Okay, so that's basically it, and that allows us later on to do decryption. Okay, so this session here, if I go and follow the TLS stream, you will see a lot of decrypted data, and that's actually a lot of encrypted data, okay, and that's between, okay, that's between the proxy and the web server through content delivery network. Okay, so that's basically the second demonstration. Let me go back to the slides. I'm about to share my screen again. So sharing my screen again. Okay, the next section of this presentation is talking about the imperativeness of post-quantum cryptography, and I'll show you also how Broadcom deals with it. So the risk there, okay, is that the big risk now, let's say this is a TLS session between a client and a server, and let's say we have an eavesdropper, and this eavesdropper is sitting there harvesting now. So what he or she is doing now is basically just recording TLS traffic. Could be medical, could be financial, okay, could be defense, could be government, whatever it is, okay, going through. Okay, right now with his or her typical PC or laptop, maybe yes, maybe no, but he's very unlikely to crack today's key exchange algorithms. So when we talk about today's key exchange algorithms, when we talk about encrypted, we're talking about elliptic Diffie-Hellman, okay, elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman algorithms, okay, and they are very sound to nowadays computers and laptops. But when quantum computers become, when personal quantum computers become a reality, okay, and it's only a matter of time until we all have personal quantum computers, then he can decrypt later, because personal quantum computers, can crack, have the computational ability to crack today's elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithms. Okay, and this is the problem. This is the big problem. This is the biggest alarm bell. My call here for any person that works around PKI and cryptography is to talk to their customers and make sure that their servers, okay, at least are PQC, post-quantum cryptography ready, okay? And I'll talk about that in a second. So post-quantum cryptography key exchange algorithms, there's two of them. There is MLKM768, and this is a pure post-quantum cryptography key exchange algorithm. It replaces elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman as a mean to generate the TLS session key. Because ECDHE is vulnerable to crypto analysis done by quantum computers. MLChem 768 is bulletproof against these attacks, but MLChem 768 is still new in practical terms. It means it might have anomalies, protocol anomalies. It might have vulnerabilities. Okay, so while it might be very, very bulletproof and impenetrable from a computational attacks types of crypto analysis attacks, but because of a certain vulnerability in the protocol itself, okay, it can be attacked. So it's not that mature yet. It's not as mature as elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman, ECDHE. So what they said, okay, we'll keep MLChem 768 now in trial, okay, just to make sure that it matures. And meanwhile, we'll use a hybrid key exchange algorithm, which is a combination of ECD elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman curve X2519. So that is ECDHE standard, okay, and also MLChem 768. So the session key is created from the concatenation of both keys. This way, if there is a vulnerability, if there is a potential vulnerability in MLChem 768, okay, it can be mitigated by part of the session key, but by the fact that part of the overall session key having been generated using the more mature and anomaly-free, well, ECDHE. Currently in production and supported by Edge and Chrome. I've tried it with Firefox. It didn't work well, but Edge and Chrome, no problems at all. Eventually, pure MLChem 768 will take over when it's mature. Post-quantum cryptography support with Broadcom's products. So Edge SWG today, and starting from version 7.4.13.1, which is out, okay, supports supports PQC key exchange protocol X25519 MLChem 768 for both if you want to do TLS tunneling, which is tunneling the TLS session through, or if you want to have TLS decryption, having two session, TLS session 1 between the client and the Edge SWG, and TLS session 2 between the Edge SWG and the server. Okay, so both TLS sessions in here can support this key exchange protocol, this PQC key exchange protocol. Support for this protocol on Broadcom Cloud SWG is coming in within few weeks. Okay, within few weeks. So that's as far as supportability of this protocol or standard. Okay, and this brings us to the third demo for today, and now I will show you a packet capture in this regards. So let me do that, please. Okay. All right, let me share my screen. Hopefully you can see my screen. And oops, let me just.
Yes, we do.
Yep. minimize this just this way maybe. And let me bring this up. Okay, this way. So as you can see in here, okay, I'm just going to look at the last one. So this here is this last client hello is the client hello sent by Edge SWG, okay, with IP address 192.168.1.241 to the server. The server here is a specific website just for testability of post-quantum cryptography, and this is the SNI of the server. So if I go in here, so this is the client hello for this TLS session 2. If I go in here and if I do follow TLS stream, and if I go to, this is the client hello in here. In the client hello, or this TLS stream, we have the key share extension. As you can see, the key share extension, okay, or protocol is X25519 MLChem768, okay. And also for if the server doesn't support PQC, it uses a pure ECDHE, elliptic Diffie-Hellman standard X25519. But in this case, the server hello should negotiate this protocol because that's why it was set up in the first place for. So if we go to the server hello here, and if we look at the server hello key share, you will see that the server in its server hello is consenting to use this protocol, which is post-quantum cryptography enabled. Okay, and yeah, so that's the idea here. And let me bring you back to the slides. Sharing my screen. Okay, so that brings us to questions and answers. Okay, and here I have actually finished with my presentation. So if if you would like to open it for questions and answers, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, but at the minute we haven't received any questions, so we can wait a couple of minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. So feel free, guys, to drop any questions on the chat box. We can go through them now, if any. State of other Symantec product in terms of the PQC support?
As I mentioned, in terms of, as far as I know, and well, I know this for sure, that support for it on Cloud SWG is coming within, few weeks. Okay, as I was told by the product manager, by the Broadcom product manager. Other than that, I am not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. Okay, my specialty is around SWG, whether it's Edge SWG or Cloud SWG, but I guess that's a question that we can chase up for you. I'm happy to chase it up for you.
Great, thank you so much, Wasfi.
Just right. Yep.
Yep. So we can get back to you regarding this.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I believe the presentation was really clear and we haven't received more questions, Wasfi. So thank you so much for this amazing, insightful presentation. And thank you all for joining us today.
And
The session-
just before we conclude, may I have a surprise, and I have a freebie for my students. So free access to my modern TLS, to my animated modern TLS course, valid for the first 100 claimers. It's 4 hour. It goes into all these concepts. Okay, elliptic TP-Hellman. It goes into certificate production. Let's encrypt. Okay, how the trust chain works. How do you do, for example, certificate revocation? All that is in there, and of course, I will include it in the chat. Just 1 second, please.
Thank you so much. That's really amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course, we need to give our attendees a freebie for attending. You always, if you're present, you put the effort to be with us, we will always give you a freebie.
Thank you so much.
So
all right,
here,
so yeah.
Where do I write the message? 1 second. I'm just
yes, please drop it on the
yeah,
chat.
yep.
Cool.
This is the link.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. The session recording will be shared with you shortly. And in case you need the copy of the presentation, also please reach out to Kalman. I will share his email address on the chat box as well. Also, I appreciate before you leave, we kindly ask you to complete the short survey that you will get after ending the session. If you'd like to explore further or to schedule a demo, please reach us anytime at info@mbcom.com. We truly appreciate your time and we look forward to welcome you in our future session. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day. Take care.
Bye-bye.